Hey guys, welcome back to Get Smart with Rory. Once again, bringing you Last Week in Science. Let's start out looking at new quantum computer developments, this time involving the quantum internet. And I have to say, all of this quantum teleportation stuff goes a little bit over my quantum head, but still, we have some very interesting science that when you're dealing with quantum computing, a big issue is how you can send quantum signals between computers without condensing it too much into classical data, because there's obviously a loss of information in doing that. So a group of scientists from various institutions were able to send this quantum signal with high fidelity across fiber optic bands, a record-breaking 27 miles. This is a big step towards quantum internet, which would be very good because it allows for more security, particularly against quantum-based computer attacks, and also the potential for massive information being sent along the computer lines. So, awesome quantum news. Moving from the smallest end of physics to the largest, astronomers have found a new quasar, the furthest one recorded so far from ourselves, being viewed a mere 670 million years after the Big Bang. To put that into perspective, a reminder that the universe is only 13.8 billion years old. And so the light from this quasar has been traveling to reach us at the speed of light for 13.1 of that 13.8 billion years. It's pretty far away. And in addition to being super far away, it's also super massive. A quasar, to remind people, being sort of an accretion disk around black holes as all of the matter from galaxy or whatever is being sucked in towards this black hole. It starts glowing white hot basically just from the atoms all bumping into each other. And viewed from the same distance away, the quasar would be 1,000 times brighter than the entirety of the Milky Way put together. The black hole at the center of this quasar is 1.6 billion times the size of our sun, which is also 385 times bigger than the black hole at the center of the Milky Way. And this is fun, cool news just from the scope of it, but also and beyond that, this puts astronomers and scientists into a little bit of a tricky situation because former models of the creation of these supermassive black holes in the early universe don't really account for black holes of this size existing yet. 670 million years is a long time for you and me, but on the universal scale, it's just not enough time for stars to be formed, go supernova, turn into black holes, and then have that black hole accumulate either more black holes or stars or what have you to form this huge quasar. And so scientists have had to reconsider what could form this quasar. Could it be that they have multiple smaller black holes that form together? No, once again, we just have the issue that there's not enough time for the star formation and so on, not to get to this size. So one prevailing theory right now is that cool hydrogen from the early universe condensed directly into the black hole. Rather than going into fusion for stars, it completely skipped that step and just by the mass of hydrogen in the area was able to condense. Fusion should be starting here, but then there's too much mass and you have a black hole. No supernova required. So I'm always happy to hear more about the beginning of the universe. I need to look into it more because really the universe just becomes more interesting the closer you look to the Big Bang and the more rapidly you start to see really crazy events happening. So look forward to that. Back on Earth, we see conservation attempts to save the most endangered species in the world. That is the Northern White Rhinoceros. And what makes them the most endangered species? Well, they are considered functionally extinct, and for good reason. There are only 2 surviving members of the entire species in the world, and they're both female. So where do we go from here? Well, luckily, we do have some semen that we've collected from northern male white rhinoceroses before they passed, and we can take egg cells from the females and make fetuses for artificial implantation. And that's exactly what we're doing, but neither of the two remaining females could actually carry a baby to term. One's too old and the other has a complication which could result in the death of the baby. And with so few chances remaining, any risk to baby or mother's health is just not acceptable. So instead, we are looking to a less endangered species, the southern white rhinoceros, and taking this fetus, which scientists have made, and letting the southern white rhinoceros be a surrogate mother for renewing the species. We currently have 5 fetuses available, and that should be happening soon. And I'm of two minds with this because, on the one hand, I think that any conservation effort is awesome. This is a high profile case, which means that it can get a lot of funding through various groups. And it's really our fault, and not just for the usual reasons of deforestation or climate change. Rhinoceroses have been poached. We've been killing them off very systematically, and it is very directly our fault that they are going extinct. On the other hand, some 100, 200, maybe up to several thousand animals go extinct every year, and I can't help but think that this is a lot of resources going into saving these 2 remaining rhinoceroses when what's the end game here? Are we going to inbreed the babies back with mothers, with their siblings? I don't see a way that we actually are going to keep the white rhinoceros viably off the extinction list. But once again, it is our fault, and there is a great sadness for any large creature in particular going extinct. So I can't say that I oppose this. It's just not enough. There's just so much that needs to be done to save more species if we want to keep a wide variety of species in the world. And we never know which ones are going to ultimately be necessary to keep humanity running smoothly. So that's where we are with saving the world's most endangered species. But ending on a positive note, if we look to New Zealand, despite a COVID-19 pandemic, they've actually seen a decrease in overall mortality compared to similar times of past years. And this partially being that New Zealand is a little bit isolated from the rest of the world, which may have given them a little bit of extra time to slow the spread and get things into place. But really, they had a very aggressive lockdown from very early on. And it turns out that the same measures which are going to prevent the spread of coronavirus also is going to help prevent the spread of other infectious disease, so we don't see the yearly flu as deadly there, or even complications with colds and what have you. To say nothing of other causes of death which also have gone down, such as automobile accidents, workplace accidents, air quality complications for those with underlying conditions such as asthma. So really, they've just gotten this perfect concoction, which for them has worked out. Which, I mean, isn't to say that we should do this every year. I think that lockdown isn't great for anybody in the long run, but it's probably better than mass death to a pandemic. So kudos to New Zealand. For everyone who's not in New Zealand, a quick reminder that in less than a year, we had multiple vaccines come out, which is absolutely record breaking. That's way faster than we normally would expect it. They're being given to people as we speak. And It's just a matter of time. We can get through this. Try to stay positive, stay safe, wash your hands, and as always, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and consider subscribing so you never miss out. And until next time, see ya.